Go.
It's that time. Cheers, everyone. Welcome to Texas on Tap. I'm Miss Helen, along with producer Kyle. Hello. Looks gorgeous and so peaceful and serene where you're sitting. Are you messing with me?
I'm trying to get people to come over to YouTube and watch us.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. That
No,
was funny. You did
it is
good.
very nice. It's funny, right? Because Texas normally is very hot by now, I feel like, but yesterday it was hot, but the day before we were walking, we went on a nice little evening stroll, and it was like kind of cool out, and I was like, damn, are things turning around for us? Nope, it's hot.
Hot here. It
It's
was hot yesterday.
95.
Yeah. Yesterday evening, late afternoon into early evening, we went and fished the jetties and it was hot. The sun was just bearing down. And Kyle, the mosquitoes. I know, and I know I always bring that up, but Kyle has this real big thing. He has a huge problem with the Matagorda mosquitoes. But my hat,
That should be their mascot.
I got back in the truck and I was using my ball cap here to
Killing
get them
them.
off of me, and I have blood
Man, I
like
mean,
when you
they're
hit
gnarly.
mosquitoes
They're
with
like birds.
it's
Seriously, for anybody who, it's been it's probably been at least a year since we told that story, and just the quick TLDR: don't go to Matagorda, Texas, or you will get attacked by bird-sized mosquitoes. We dove in the pool to get away from the mosquitoes, and about 4 inches of the top of my head was the only thing exposed, and I was getting destroyed. I haven't been back. Not that I
some
don't
of
want to
our
hang out with you, but I have not gone back since then because it was so traumatizing.
Okay, so it's so funny you bring up that story because some of our neighbors said that yesterday. One of the guys goes, "I think I'm just gonna get in the pool to get away from the mosquitoes." I'm like, "It won't work.
It don't
Just
work.
ask Kyle. Kyle knows. Kyle knows. He tried that, and that trick does not work."
Nope,
It's like
it
how
does
they
not.
tell you, like if you're getting swarmed by bees, people think they can jump in the water, and like, no, same thing. Okay,
Mm-mm. All right, let's switch gears. Talk about some music. You want to kick things
okay,
off?
yeah, I'll kick things off. Curtis Grimes has a new song out. It's called "God's Doing," and of course, Curtis bringing us another inspirational song of hope and true stories. It's his testament up to his faith, but basically, God's doing. He starts out like there's some stories he tells in the song, but the first part it starts out with the deer ran out in front of the car. They were coming back from the Friday night football game and had an accident. God's doing, saved their lives. And then he goes into the story on the second verse with now we're married, starting a family. Unfortunately lost the first baby. OBGYN says it'll be a miracle. Well, they got the miracle and got the baby boy. So it's just a all around great, inspiring song. All the things that you can't explain, but it's God's doing. So
Mm-hmm.
another good one from Curtis Grimes. And so now we're going to open up the tap room door for Tanner Sparks. This is called Blank Check. Tanner Sparks, Blank Check. I love this one. This is like the working man, working woman song. I kind of look at it. And with his blank check in particular in the song, as he referenced to buying a house, a house with a yard, boat, cost of living. But I like how he brands his music old-fashioned country music. And I just like that song all around. And think about it. If you got a blank check, what would you buy?
Well, that's a good question.
So
Yeah,
that's just a thought.
absolutely. It's a great thought too, and I'm sure that Tanner, if you're listening, you should run with that, dude. Yeah, it's all about that engagement on social media these days. But man, he's as old fashioned as they come. Even just talking to the guy in
Hmm.
person, he's an old fashioned kind of dude, and he's putting out great songs. This song and the previous release of his
Yes.
we covered, and they're good stuff. So keep it
Good
up,
old
Tanner Sparks.
country. Good
Yeah.
country. Yes.
Well, I've got a good old country song too, but I think I'm gonna save that one for next. I'm gonna open up the tap room doors for somebody new to me. His name's Chad Miller, and his band's called The Good Fortune. The song's called "Lean on Each Other." I was hooked on his voice from the very start. What do you think?
Oh, yes, the voice dynamic for sure.
It's so smooth and great. It kind of actually, and hopefully this is a compliment, but it gave me Mike McClure and like the Great Divide vibes, kind of with the song. But
Yes.
I just love the
Yes.
chugging along guitar part. It's like got this pulsy thing that just kind of like keeps the song rolling. And then obviously the concept is something. You know, it's unique, but it's a really cool, quirky, creative way to put a spin on that topic, and I thought it was extremely well executed. You know, it
Yeah.
kind of got funnier as I listened to it, which is always cool. But the song's so feel good. It's kind of like a, you know,
Mhm.
to me it was a little beachy, which I liked a lot. It just kind of gave me this summer good time vibe. But it's like let's just turn the lights off and lean on each other, which is
Yeah, I know.
hilarious.
Okay.
Super
Hey,
super well done.
we don't have to be all those things. Just lean. Just lean a little bit. I love it. And I
Yep,
love how the song just keeps progressing. It just keeps your attention, holds your attention. And like you said, it's got summer vibes, vibes, outdoor vibes. I liked it. And yeah, the whole story and the
absolutely.
lyrics. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yep. All right. And then I was talking about country, classic country. We'll bring it back to Mr. Matt Castillo. Dropped a new one called Pain and Sorrow. This one, the writing, production, instrumentation, the arrangements, everything. It's traditional as it gets. It's old fashioned. It's Matt Castillo. You know, he's branched out a little bit. He's brought some modern stuff, and obviously his recordings sound modern. Like when you listen to it, you know he's a
Yes.
current relevant artist. But like I said, the arrangements, the instruments that are being used, the way he sings, the way they mix his voice, it's all very inspired from traditional country music, which we admire. Obviously, we've talked about pretty much every song he's released over the past 3 years, but man, he's leaning into what he does well, and it's so good. I love how raw and forward his voice is in the mix. The cool little growly guitar solo, you know what I mean? That little small
Hmm.
section where it's like bow, bow, bow. That's I just love when they do that. It's so much fun. So another good one from
Well,
Matt Castillo.
I wish I could have had a selfie moment because when I first hit the button to listen to it, I can't even tell you what my face did. It was crazy. I was like, what?
Yeah,
What? And yeah, it's like I want to go hear Matt sing that song like right now. Like I wanted him here right now. I wanted to hear it live, like right at this moment.
right
So
away. Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. It's awesome. Good stuff, Matt Castillo.
Yeah, definitely got to go catch a Matt Castillo show. It's been a little bit too long. Last time I saw Matt Castillo was actually a funny story. I don't know if I ever shared that on the podcast, but we were out, me and some friends were out like got a year and a half ago, I think, in the Terlingua area. Like we
Mhm.
had a little weekend trip at Big Bend, and we happened to drive by the Chili Festival in Terlingua that was going on. And I like looked it up and I was like, oh my God, Matt Castillo's playing. So I texted him and we were in our little RV thing and he got us in and we went in and got to hang out at the Chili Fest and watch Matt
That's so
Castillo. And
fun.
yeah,
That's
it
so
was real cool.
fun. Yeah, I remember when
Absolutely.
you did that trip. That was cool.
That was cool. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about our friends over at More Than Music Creations. If you have not yet, then you are really just missing out. You need to do yourself a favor and go to morethanmusiccreations.com. Check out all kinds of cool stuff they've got going on. They've got Texas Toast line of jewelry that is made using past guests of the show's strings, along with many other artists that they have collaboration lines with, like um, the Wilder Blue, who are the hottest thing in country music right now. Bree Bagwell, Pat Green, and many, many more. So go on over there, check it out, get yourself some cool jewelry. It's it's like consider it your charitable donation. If you've been considering it for a long time, there's no reason not to do it. Just pull the trigger. The stuff's all affordable and it's awesome. It's worth way more than you're paying for it. So go get you some.
Yes. And graduation's right around the corner. Have you ever wondered how artists like Treaty Oak Revival, Red Clay Strays, and Aaron Watson maintain the high quality and high demand for their merchandise? CH Lone Star Promo is the answer. Created in Texas to serve Texas artists, and they're currently offering 15% off on all merch orders from musicians. Visit chlonestarpromo.com to get started and tell them Texas Toast sent you.
I was reading the other day that it takes at least $1 million to break an artist. That's a ton of change, and it can feel overwhelming. But with social media leveling the playing field, you just need an effective strategy to release your music. Check out Release Rocket to ensure your single does not die after release day. You've already put time, effort, and tons of money into writing and recording your album. Let the guys at Release Rocket keep your new release alive.
Let's look at what's popping and topping on the charts. Well, we talked about Brandy Balin last week, and her song is just all over the place. It debuted in the top 100 at 80. It was Song of the Week on Texas Country Music Chart, most added, most greatest spin increase. So, yeah, that's a good one. So happy for her on that success. Number one this week on the Texas Country Music Chart is Mike Ryan with The Way It Goes. And on CD Extraction, Texas, Mike Ryan is number one also with Way It Goes. And I also do want to mention because we have the episode coming out, but Pat Green, his new single that we talk about on the podcast, it debuted very high on the charts as well.
Very cool.
And I don't have the updated Texas Regional Radio report because we are recording early because I've got some stuff in Sugarland to do tomorrow with the man.
Sugarland with the man.
Sugarland with my man.
Speaking of stuff to do tomorrow, I've got a really cool thing going on tomorrow, which obviously when you guys are hearing this will be a day past tomorrow, which that's a whole confusing thing
Now
to
you
wrap your
got
head
me
around.
whole confused. I'm all confused. Okay, but it
so
doesn't take much.
so today's Wednesday. We typically record on Thursday afternoon, and then the podcast comes out on Friday, right? We're recording a day early, but tomorrow night, Thursday night, I get to play at Saxon Pub, which is a legendary venue in Austin. Probably, one of the, I would say, the most premier, like, legendary venue for the opening. Like Parker McCollum, that's his stomping grounds. A lot of new guys. Bob Schneider, that's
Mhm.
his stomping grounds. And I get to play tomorrow night. It's my first time ever. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're playing late, so I'm just looking forward to it. We're playing right after the Texas Trio, which is Kyle Park's trio band.
Yes, I saw they're doing stuff. I didn't know you were going to be
Yeah,
right there with them. Oh, that's
so
so good,
cool.
Kyle. That's so good,
Yeah,
Kyle and Kyle.
yeah. Hopefully, I get to see Mr. Kyle and say what's up. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then we're going to slow down a little bit. Actually, I feel like I've kind of been going a little too hard, so I'm gonna pull the reins a little bit, slow down, and kind of take some time to myself. Spend some more time
Mhm.
just chit chatting with you.
Yes. I need that time because before we jumped on here, I was a big old hot mess.
Yeah.
I was just like the Tasmanian devil running around here.
Mm.
No, because
Yeah.
I
It's
was
so
telling
easy to
Kyle
get
before we
wound up
came on.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I guess you're right because you just you have to pace your time and you have to plan coordinate because you and I both wear so many different hats. Me not as much as many as yours,
Yeah,
but I do have
so
like some
true.
huge responsibilities
Yeah.
outside of this lovely podcast, but it's like I was trying to plan all that. We were on the boat this morning. It was rough at the jetties. I wasn't feeling it. I knew what the tides and the currents were doing, but my captain, I wasn't real happy with him.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I was mad at the fish. I'm mad at the
Hey,
fish because
it
they
is
didn't
what it
behave
is.
like I wanted them to. So, but
Yeah.
there's days like that. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and it's always nice when Kyle and I jump on when I'm having one of those days. It just makes such a huge difference.
And you know what makes it even better? Whenever you win Texas Country Podcast of the Year.
Yes. And then your host
How
cried so hard she
freaking
can't talk.
How freaking cool. Yeah, you were so stoked that Will was up there. That was hilarious. And I was looking for you when they called our name, called your name, and I stood up and I was like, "Where the hell is she?" And everybody's sitting there like, "Kyle, go, go! They're gonna skip y'all. You got to go." So I ran up there and was looking for you,
I was on
and then
my
I saw
way.
you
What?
coming.
Okay. So there is a story behind that. Okay, here's the story. All right. So when round one at Sawyer Park, when we got to town, we went in right away and had some crawfish, visited, I kind of got the feel of things, and then it was time for me to get over to the hotel and get changed, which I never even changed. I didn't even wear the clothes that I planned on wearing because everybody just went real casual. In the meantime, I step outside in the parking lot. I had like these little wedges on. They weren't like high heels, but they had like these things around the ankle and they're kind of loose. I fell down, y'all. Busted and skinned up my knee.
Oh
It's better.
God.
And I'm just like, I need a first aid kit anyway. So I thought we were like a few more categories down the program. And so that bathroom is in the very, very back. So I
Oh
went
right.
into because I needed to check on my knee. I needed to pat it down with paper towel,
Yeah.
honestly. And then I heard them say, and now nominees for podcast of the year. And I was like, oh no. And so I wrapped up what I was doing. I mean, I didn't even use the bathroom. It was all about the knee and first aid. And so
Yeah.
I went out the door and I heard our name. And then so the reason why it took so long too, because everybody was
It's
like giving me
crowded.
hugs at the table. And I
Yeah.
was like, gotta
Yeah.
go, gotta go. And so went running up. And I guess the reason why this was so meaningful is because like ever since Will Carter's been in music, I have known him and he has a special story. And you've heard it on the podcast. Everybody knows Will Carter's heard the story about him being young and singing and his dad passing away of cancer and him making the CD and his dad listening to it. And Will and I just bonded. I guess it's over 11 years ago when he came on his radio tour. And to have
Yeah.
him standing there, and I think I got so emotional because I think all the years just all of a sudden just
Mm.
swept over me.
Well, you did
And
great.
then I took a deep breath and then we got it. But man, I was so proud of us, so happy for us. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And it was so cool to
Whoever
see,
whoever
all the other
knew.
people who won awards, obviously, and then, somehow it was like tunnel vision for me. Whenever we were standing up there together and you were talking and I was looking out in the crowd and the only faces I saw were the other people who were nominated. And I was just like, man, y'all should be up here with us too. Everybody was so
Mhm.
awesome. And then, a couple of them greeted us right as we were walking off stage saying, y'all deserve it. You deserve it. It's just so cool.
That was so
It
sweet.
felt
That
so
was
good.
so sweet because I honestly, that's why I had nothing prepared to say.
Yeah.
I just, because like you said, that category, I think it was probably one of the, I mean, there
It was
was good
stacked.
talent in that. Yes, in that
Yeah.
category. That's why I was kind of like, mm, just honored to be nominated and
Yep.
nothing prepared. Nothing prepared me
Absolutely.
for that. Nothing prepared me for that emotion. It was just, I just, I keep it together and I could talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
Well, I mean, hey, it made sense. I think everybody understood. We've worked really, really hard for the last three and a half, a little more than 3 years now, or I guess 3.5 now with all the prep work we did before we got this thing launched. And now we've got people like think about the guests we've had on this year, not only like the Parker McCollums and the Wade Bowens now and Pat Green coming up, but like the Brody Rivers, who is in 3 years going to be huge. It's just so cool seeing the variety,
Well, and
not only the like
yes,
the level of celebrity that we've been able to access as we've growth, but also like the level of like vision that we have kind of over Texas now, or
yes.
over the scene. It's just so cool. We're in such an awesome place. And yeah, I mean, I felt it too. I felt so fortunate standing up there, and it's like, man, we're doing this because we like to do it, we love it, you
Mhm.
know and
And it's
it
like,
felt good.
yeah, and talking about some of I look too at some of our first guests that have grown, like just now today, talking about Matt Castillo. Look how much Matt
Yep.
has grown. Chad
Yep.
Cook Band. I mean, it's like you can go back through our library and I just love watching the growth. But yeah. And it was a lot of fun. And I did want to mention too, that specific week was really a good week for me because I had that Saturday before we went into the week of interviews and the awards. I had my class reunion in Sealy. And I don't know if I talked to you about it. It just warmed my heart. It was so good seeing my childhood friends, especially the girls. Like, you just pick up where you leave off. Laughed so hard, almost lost my voice. My stomach hurt. We just laughed so hard and had such a good time. And it was weird because it was like the guys were in their corner and the girls were over here.
Hmm.
It was just nonstop. It
That's
was so
hilarious.
much fun. And while I was in Sealy, I picked up the Kenny store green sauce. I'm addicted. So
Hmm.
everybody has instructions. Once I run out, like we've got Ronson or some of my Belleville Sealy friends, when they come here to fish, I'm already told them, okay, don't be offended if I call you and say I am out of green sauce, but
I
they
need
need it
some.
in Matagorda. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. Yeah. And so
That's
then after the reunion, then it was we already had Wade Bowen and Pat Green scheduled. So I'm like, wow, what a week. I had my class reunion. I talked to Wade Bowen and Pat Green on the podcast and off to the awards to get to hug necks and see everybody. And then we got our name called. So wow, that was some kind of week. I'll never
hmm
forget.
yeah, yeah, definitely very memorable. And speaking of Kenny Store, I've been talking to them this week. We're gonna get them on the show to talk about winning
That's
their
good.
award and kind of all the change. We've
Hmm.
actually never had a venue owner or a manager on the show, so I figured it's probably time. And also, hopefully, I'll be maybe booking. Well, I will be playing at the Kenny Store here in the coming weeks,
So
so that's pretty
we're
exciting.
we're we're pretty transparent on this podcast, and here is an example, y'all. Of Kyle and I haven't even talked. We ain't even talked, and that was on my list. Let's get Kenny Store on, and then I have a brainstorm to partner with them on something.
Okay, cool.
We want to get out and do more live broadcasts, like
Yeah,
like tapings, and
yeah.
I would love if we could do some at Kenny
Yeah,
Store.
that'd be really cool to do something there. I mean, hey, let's book the Texas Toast Fest everybody's been begging for. Let's do it at Kenny's
Hmm.
store.
Because the thoughts are to get a few more artists on where where we can just have that, maybe bring in a couple at a time and
Yeah,
do do our live taping on location in person. But I think that coming to Matagorda would be a bit much for some people, and I'm
yeah,
just trying to inland, probably put it inland, and that would be one
yeah.
of my favorites. There's a few others too. And so anyway, yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
talk
See,
about it. We'll make it
an
happen.
example again of how we just all, ever since the beginning of this podcast, that's how it goes. We won't always, yeah. We just, it's weird.
Well, I mean, we
It's
have
that whole,
ideas and then we just make them happen. you know?
Well, not only that, but we have them at the same time and we haven't even talked about it with each other. And then
Yeah.
he'll get it, I'll text him or he'll text me and it's like, yep, I was already thinking that.
Yeah.
It's a true
Little
story.
freaky, but
True story.
yeah.
So I guess
Cool.
everybody kind of knows what we got coming up. We've talked about
Yeah.
the
Well, I
next
mean,
two
the
guests coming
Wade
up.
the Wade interview, if you haven't listened to that, it's fantastic. He's, like he said, but they're flying. Those dudes are on fire. He's like he said, clicking on all cylinders. This record is outstanding, probably the best one he's put out
I
yet,
can't
and it's
stop listening to it.
number
Can't
10.
stop.
That's it's crazy that he's got 10 studio albums already, but it's he's been working harder than ever. So check that one out. Pat Green is this coming week. I was gonna say hot take, but I don't even think it is. I think that's my favorite conversation that you've had with anyone yet. It was just so
Mine too.
natural. He
Mine
told the
too.
craziest stories, stuff I had
It was
never even heard
awesome.
about. It was just so good. So I'm so excited just to put that one together and listen to it again, but also for everybody else to listen to it. And then we got Jared Morris coming up. We got Cody Hibbard coming up. We got Sonny Sauceda coming up.
Oh,
And then
Sunny was fun. He's so
yeah,
fun. Y'all are gonna love it. Oh, y'all are
uh-huh.
gonna love it. And love him. If you haven't fallen in love with him and started following him, we're starting his journey into Texas country music and
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Well, his story was crazy, and it was so cool how excited he was too. Just saying, he was
Hmm.
talking to Corliss, and she called him Texas country artist, and he was like, "Oh, it's real."
For
I
real.
thought that was
I told him,
hilarious,
I
but
said, that's official. If Corliss said that,
yeah,
yeah.
but man, I didn't know like he's got a long history. I never would have known any of that, and it's so cool. Like he was saying his old band went on was the support band for the Dixie Chicks on
I
their
remember
Fly tour.
I
That's
remember when
crazy.
I remember when that happened, but I had forgotten. And then when he brought it up, it was like that was a big deal and they handpicked. It was like, and they
Yeah.
wanted, yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
Yep, yep, yep. That's cool.
Very cool. Yep, a whole shitload of cool stuff coming for you guys. We've got, like we said, some what do we call them? It's been so long. Oh, bottoms up episodes too. So some industry behind the scenes stuff. So
Hmm. Hmm.
hang in there, stick around, keep sharing, keep telling everybody about it, and get out to a show. And if you're going to shows, if you're an active fan of live music and you're going to shows, send us what you're going to see. Tell us, who you're listening to. We love discovering new artists. You guys are doing great out there sending in your songs as artists. We're getting tons of submissions all the time, and it's really helpful for what the songs we're going to cover on Texas on Tap. But we appreciate all of it. We appreciate all the love and support. We appreciate the win and even just the nomination. And I guess we'll see you guys, every single Tuesday and Friday from now until November at the TCMA Awards.
That's exactly right. Love it. All right. Cheers.
Alrighty, cheers.